Every single human being alive today, every skin tone, every continent, every ethnicity shares the exact same ancestors. And those ancestors, according to the overwhelming scientific evidence, had dark skin. So if we all started from the same place, what actually happened? Why do some populations have deep brown skin and others incredibly pale skin, when we're all one species separated by only tens of thousands of years? The answer involves sunlight, vitamins, migration, and one of the fastest evolving traits in the entire human body. Where it all started. Let's start at the true beginning. Africa, roughly 2 million years ago. Early human ancestors were likely covered in dense body hair, similar to other primates, with pale skin hidden underneath. But as early humans evolved to walk upright and hunt across open, sun-exposed savannas, something had to change. Researchers believe body hair was gradually lost to help the body cool down more efficiently through sweating. But losing the hair created a new, serious problem. Bare skin, directly exposed to intense equatorial sunlight, all day, every day. And that problem needed a biological solution, fast. Melanin, the original sunscreen. The solution the body evolved was melanin, the natural pigment responsible for skin color. In populations living near the equator, the body produces high levels of a specific type of melanin called eumelanin. Eumelanin acts almost exactly like a built-in, natural sunscreen, absorbing and blocking harmful ultraviolet radiation before it can damage skin cells. This wasn't just about avoiding sunburn. Researchers have found that intense UV exposure can break down folate, a nutrient that's absolutely critical for healthy fetal development and cell division. In other words, for early humans living under the intense equatorial sun, dark skin wasn't just protective. It was essential for successfully reproducing and passing on healthy genes at all. Populations that evolved darker skin in these environments had a genuine survival and reproductive advantage. The Great Migration. For an enormous stretch of early human history, this was the whole story. Dark skin, evolved in Africa, worked perfectly. Then, sometime around 60,000 years ago, groups of humans began migrating out of Africa into the Middle East, then into Europe, Asia, and eventually every other inhabited continent on Earth. And as they moved further from the equator, they ran directly into a brand new problem. Not too much sunlight this time, but not enough of it. The vitamin D problem. Here's the twist most people don't know. Skin doesn't just block UV radiation. It also uses UV radiation for something essential, producing vitamin D. Vitamin D is critical for calcium absorption, immune function, and strong, properly developed bones. In northern regions with weaker sunlight and much shorter days, dark, heavily pigmented skin began blocking too much UV radiation, leaving populations at serious risk of vitamin D deficiency. Severe, prolonged vitamin D deficiency can cause a bone-weakening disease called rickets, and historically, it could seriously reduce a population's ability to survive and reproduce successfully. So the same pressure that once favored dark skin near the equator began working in reverse, farther north. The trade-off theory. This is the core idea behind what one leading anthropologist calls the skin color trade-off. Near the equator, strong sun, high UV, dark skin protects folate and prevents skin damage. Far from the equator, weak sun, low UV, lighter skin allows enough UV penetration to still produce sufficient vitamin D. Over thousands of generations, in region after region, natural selection quietly tuned human skin, tone like a dial, balancing two competing biological needs against the exact amount of sunlight available in that specific part of the world. It's not a story about one skin color being better than another. It's a story about the same biological trade-off, solved differently, depending entirely on geography. How fast did this actually happen? Here's where the science gets genuinely surprising. Researchers studying the genetics of skin pigmentation have identified it as one of the most rapidly evolving visible traits in the entire human body. One key gene variant linked to lighter skin, still common across European populations today, is estimated to have spread within roughly the last 6,000 years, a remarkably short window in evolutionary terms. Some researchers connect this rapid shift to the rise of agriculture, as early farming populations move into new regions and ate diets with far less naturally occurring vitamin D than hunter-gatherer diets rich in fish and wild game. That dietary shift may have placed even greater pressure on the skin itself to generate vitamin D directly from sunlight, accelerating the evolution of lighter skin even further. It's more complicated than black to white. Here's a detail that genuinely surprises most people, and one recent genetic research has made much clearer. Scientists studying skin pigmentation genes across modern African populations discovered something unexpected. Genetic variants associated with lighter skin actually exist widely within Africa itself, particularly in East African populations. Meanwhile, certain gene variants linked to light skin, eyes, and hair in modern Europeans were found to have originated in Africa, long before any migration out of the continent ever happened. This means the real story isn't a simple, single, one-directional line from black to white. It's a far more complex, layered process of genetic variation, migration, and repeated natural selection playing out differently across different populations in different regions at different points in time. Environment playing out across the entire span of human history. A third, unexpected variable. There's even a third factor researchers have identified that complicates the simple sunlight explanation even further: diet. Certain Arctic populations, such as some indigenous peoples of Alaska and northern Canada, retain notably darker skin despite living in extremely low sunlight environments. Researchers believe this is because traditional diets rich in fish and marine mammals already provided abundant vitamin D directly through food, removing much of the evolutionary pressure to lighten skin tone in the first place. It's a powerful reminder that evolution rarely responds to just one single pressure. It responds to the entire tangled web of an environment, sunlight, geography, and diet, all working together at once. What this means today. So why did ancient humans go from dark skin to a wide range of skin tones across the globe? Not because of any single migration or any single moment. Because of a slow, remarkable, elegant biological trade-off repeated independently across different populations, in different environments, over tens of thousands of years. Every skin tone that exists today represents the exact same underlying biological system, simply calibrated differently to match the amount of sunlight and the available diet in a specific part of the world. It's one of the clearest, most well-documented examples of human evolution happening in real, traceable, genetic time, written directly into the skin of every single person alive. Different color, same ancestors, same species, just a few tens of thousands of years in one very clever biological solution apart.